Five-time Chief Minister and DMK Supremo M. Karunanidhi is laid to rest. An important question looms for the future of Tamil Nadu's political landscape. Remember, the state has lost two iconic leaders in a span of just 2 years. The death of sitting Chief Minister Jayalalitha in December 2016 saw infighting and splits in her party, the AIADMK. Will we see turmoil like that within the DMK? What is the future of Dravidian politics in the state? Who will be the new players, and is this the chance the BJP has been waiting for? To speak on some of these issues, I'm joined now by Narayan, Associate Editor at the Hindu. I'm also speaking today with GC Shekhar, Associate Editor at The Outlook. So, two political journalists with their ear to the ground hopefully will tell us what they think about the current issue. Let me start with you, Shekhar, and with the key question of what we have seen since this morning. Some are calling it a very petty display by the AIADMK government in power, creating an issue about where Karunanidhi is laid to rest. Do you think it will backfire politically?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Shekhar.
Yeah, as far as the case decision is concerned, it was a bit of a surprise. They could have been a bit more magnanimous. They could have seized the moment, and then because even when Karunanidhi was in the hospital, the chief minister, his deputy, the ministers had all visited him there, which is a very rare happening in Tamil Nadu's confrontationist politics. So considering that, I think we expected that they would permit the burial at Marina itself, because there's not an issue, because the place that DMK was asking was within the limits of the old Anna Memorial, and it didn't require any, it didn't violate any major coastal regulation, zone rules or anything like that. So I think the Edapadi Palaniswamy government, I think it was stupid that by denying them permission and then forcing the DMK to go to court. And now that the court has ordered this, the venue, that this is the venue that they have to give, it amounts to a legal slap on the face of the ruling party. They could have avoided this embarrassment and humiliation. Politically, yes, it will harden DMK's stand position towards the Edapadi government, because tomorrow, if there is in case the 18 MLAs disqualification goes against the Edapadi government, then Dinakaran's 18 MLAs and DMK together can join and then bring a no confidence motion and destabilize the government. So I think if, on the other hand, if they had reached out to the DMK by giving them the land, that the space they had wanted for the burial, I think he could have, Edapadi could have checkmated Stalin, and he would have given him second thoughts about bringing down his government. And definitely, I think that the EPS government has shot itself on its foot.
Mr. Lakshman, the key question over here, what happens next in Tamil Nadu's political landscape, especially with the DMK? Is there any question on MK Stalin's hold over the party? Karunanidhi made sure that the succession plan took place, but from here on, can we expect really smooth sailing for the DMK as well? And does he hold the same sway that his father did?
That's a great question, Tamanna. But basically, the answer is that he certainly does not hold the same sway that his father did. And the reason for that is he remains an untested or unchallenged quantity so far as state and national elections are concerned. Yes, certainly in the May 2016 election, he was the de facto head, although he is the working president of the DMK. But in a sense, his father was alive then, and the mantle still rested upon his shoulders. So in any case, the DMK lost roundly, and that was actually a back-to-back victory for the ADMK, which was quite unprecedented in recent times. So I think the challenges for Stalin are both from inside and outside of his party. Internally, yes, Kanimuri is considered close to him. His sister Aragiri is distanced relatively more he was from Karunanidhi and is also from Stalin. And he's, his influences was even historically was more in the south. But at the same time, he has not in any recent years indicated that he might mount any challenge to Stalin's preeminence, if you will, within the party. And I think Karunanidhi also has made no bones of the fact that he does view Stalin as his successor. I think the bigger challenge, honestly, though, Tamanna, comes from the outside because not only is it that Stalin is untested, but in the long arc of history, or Tamil Nadu's political history, the Dravidian movement that kicked it off so elegantly in the 1950s and 60s in a more radical form has reached an inflection point because it no longer has those needs to have an anti-Hindi agitation or fight the Congress or any such thing. But rather, now that you have a changed economy and a changed society, it really behooves whoever takes on the mantle of the DMK or any other party in the state to understand what the latest needs or the current needs of the Tamil people are and kind of respond to that, provide political solutions. And we can get into this, but there's a very long list of needs as we're looking at a very poorly governed state at the moment.
Some have also talked about how this could be an opening for national parties, especially the BJP. The BJP, and I'll come to Shekhar first with this, had an embarrassing outing in Tamil Nadu in the 2016 elections. Perhaps they will look at some kind of proxy. It is reported that they already have significant control over the workings of the AIADMK. Do you think that this could be their gateway?
I really doubt it because if you see the last 1.5 years, Karunanidhi has been inactive ever since Jayalalitha died also. Sort of his retirement from active politics coincided with Jayalalitha's demise. So Stalin was controlled the narrative as far as the opposition is concerned. The BJP, of course, has tried to use the ADMK government for pushing through some of its decisions. But even then, even if the ADMK is considered to be the BJP's proxy, you must understand that it is a very unpopular proxy because the ADMK is not, the ruling party is not very popular, though they have the numbers and the MLAs do not want to face another assembly election at this stage when they are just halfway through their tenure. So I think what happens is that the BJP, of course, will try to use the political vacuum created by Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi's exit and try to woo the new player, which is Rajinikanth. But anybody who aligns with BJP, whether it is Rajinikanth or whether it is the ADMK, whether it's the DMK or anyone, they stand the risk of losing the minority votes because as far as the BJP is concerned, it has just 2% votes in the state. Of course, they hope to get the votes that Jayalalitha used to get in the past because those who felt that the BJP is not winnable, they used to transfer their votes to Jayalalitha because she had a better chance of beating the DMK and the Congress. That is how Jayalalitha also got the votes that would have otherwise gone to BJP. Now the BJP is hoping that it will be able to get some of it. But if Rajinikanth doesn't align with the BJP, then such votes may go to Rajinikanth because he may command a larger vote share than the BJP. The BJP's electoral chances in Tamil Nadu at present are not very realistic. Let us admit it. It doesn't have a leadership. It doesn't have a very strong and charismatic leader who can lead the party. And at the same time, it doesn't have a major network. So essentially, the BJP will settle for around 6 to 10 Lok Sabha seats with whomever it allies, and then hopes to make some impact in these seats. Whether they win it or not, they hope that they'll be able to increase their vote share. So I don't think the BJP, even now, even with both Karunanidhi and Jayalalitha out of the scene, I don't see the BJP as such really stamping its foot and then planting its, ensuring that it will grow in Tamil Nadu. I don't think that's going to happen that very soon.
Why don't you come in on that, Lakshman, and also with a question about Rajnikant, because there is so much speculation of what he will do. A few weeks ago, there were some rumors, stories and hints that he could join the AIADMK or align with them in some way. Is the next big move or the next personality going to come in that direction?
Well, anything is possible in Tamil Nadu politics. That's our motto here. But at the same time, you have to look at the consequences of what any of these actions could yield to understand whether it would happen or not, or who is to gain. And in this case, as Mr. Shekhar correctly observed, the AIADMK itself is a party in my view at least, in a slow motion sort of implosion mode. And obviously that was a result of the very autocratic governance style of Jayalalitha within her party, which did not allow for any subsequent levels of leadership to come up. And consequently, you've had the emergence of parallel vectors of power, whether it's TTV Dinakaran or initially O. Paneerselvam himself, who launched a rebellion and then came back in the fold. You have the party kind of pulling in all directions, and that is a serious problem for them. So again, I agree with Mr. Shekhar that even if the BJP were to align with them, it would not necessarily amount to much in terms of Lok Sabha seats, because I guess that's what we're looking at in the nearest term of the 2019 election. And certainly, so far as the BJP itself making an inroad directly as a party which wants to win votes in the state, I think that is a very, very dim prospect. And I would only add further to what was said that part of the reason also relates to the common Tamil man and woman's psyche, which is indeed a legacy of the Dravidian movement. And I'm not saying it's in that same radical form that it had in the 60s, but there was, at least at that time, a deep suspicion of anything that was sort of perceived as Hindi imposition, or the North or North Indian view of politics, or Delhi-centric elitist view of politics. Of course, again, the fact that it was also an anti-Brahmin movement in its most radical phase, and BJP and even to an extent Congress were perceived as parties of the middle and upper caste. So in that sense, just the sheer weight of history and the legacy of that movement suggests that the average Tamil voter would view the BJP with a great amount of suspicion, which is why I think they are very cleverly, the BJP is a deep-pocketed institution or a party, and it is doing what it can with the powers that it has, which is both monetary as well as it has control over the CBI and the income tax to conduct raids and so forth, to reward and punish people as it deems fit, to, in a sense, move the chess pieces on the board and maybe win itself some at least alliance partners in 2019. So that is probably more likely the strategy that they are hoping to follow. But even that could only yield limited results depending on how the two major Dravidian parties fare, and especially the DMK, whether in the aftermath of Karunanidhi's passing, Stalin can really get his act together and launch a serious bid at the level of state politics.
Well, as of now, in the context of 2019, the DMK is seen as the stronger player between the two. Will that be the next big test? And let me come to Lakshman with a follow-up on this, of who the DMK allies with. And over here, is the Congress at a national level looking in a more advantageous position?
Yeah, certainly Congress has been historically the more sort of organic or the natural ally for the DMK. Obviously, you have that episode, I believe, in the 1999 elections where Karunanidhi did decide to throw in his lot with the BJP, but that was a fairly short-lived foray, and there were circumstances for that. The ADMK was trying to get his government dismissed at the state and so forth. But that was a highly unnatural alliance, in my view. What you could see more likely, one possibility rather, is that Kamal Hassan might align with the DMK. There is a bit more of a natural fit with him and the DMK than, say, with Rajnikant and the DMK, because Kamal Hassan, too, like Karunanidhi, shares an atheistic view of the world, rationalist. And in terms of economics as well, he sounds, at least from his statements, like he's leaning to sort of left of center or welfareist policies, which would make a lot of sense for the DMK. So those are possible combinations that you're looking at.
Shekhar, your view on Kamal Hassan and how this plays into the 2019 scenario?
Well, Kamal Hassan will definitely try to be part of a good working alliance because he's sort of emerged as the poster boy of the CPM, at least in Tamil Nadu, because of his proximity towards the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, and he flaunts that friendship and on as many occasions as possible. And also, he recently went and met Rahul Gandhi at Delhi. And what is happening is that the Congress is now preparing its own set of allies like Kamal Hassan and then the VCK, the Dalit Party, whose leaders also met Rahul Gandhi, so that to increase its bargaining power. To get more seats from the DMK. Of course, now at present the DMK and the Congress are thick friends, but you never know because the DMK will not part with more than 10 seats for the Congress, whereas the Congress is looking at around 15 seats. So that is the reason why the TTV Dinakaran also recently announced if the Congress ditch the DMK, then he is willing to talk alliance with them. So that is also aimed at increasing the Congress bargaining clout. See, what people like TTV Dinakaran think is that if the Congress contests more seats in Tamil Nadu, it will be easier for a party like Dinakaran's party to win those seats because the Congress network is very, very weak and it may not be in a position to win the seats that it is contesting, especially if its relationship with the DMK is strained because of seat sharing. So it is a long-term view, and meanwhile, I think Kamal Hassan will try to fit in with the Congress, and the Congress will take around 15 seats, and it will try to distribute seats to the VCK and Kamal Hassan from its quota. I think that is what the DMK is hoping for because the DMK wants to contest at least 20 to 22 seats in the Lok Sabha election because they know that the more MPs they have, the more leverage they will have in Delhi. I think that is what is happening. But before that, if there is if the state government gets toppled because of the High Court verdict that is expected in the next 2 weeks, then the 18 MLAs and then combined with no confidence vote or anything, then if the EPS government gets toppled, we may even be looking at a combined election for both the assembly along with the Lok Sabha elections. So that will be a major test because that will open up the contests like anything because we don't know because Tamil Nadu has not had combined elections since 1996. I think that is the last time we had it. After that, we haven't had.
So, interesting times ahead. Thank you so much, Narayan, Lakshman and GC Shekhar for joining us with your analysis. We're looking at tumultuous times for the state of Tamil Nadu, a huge vacuum. Powers are emerging to fill up that vacuum, and it will be a difficult challenge for any one player to dominate. We'll wait and watch and see how this story unfolds.